We're live.
Heck of a delay.
Good evening.
Welcome. On 18, 17 over there on YouTube is like a 20-second delay almost.
Not to load that up.
Anyway, glad to be back. I know it was painful for all of us that we missed the last couple of weeks. A couple of things couldn't just happen in the family that I could not avoid. This past weekend, my daughter-in-law, Chad's wife, Cassidy's uncle, has cancer and is not doing well. And I expected him to last for a lot longer. So she wanted to go see him while she still could and while he was still knew her and capable of doing a few things. And they did do a few things. But Chad says, Chad has never seen snow, and they went to Ohio, and it snowed while he was there. And when the first thing he come back, he said, "You can keep that dang cold up there. I don't want no part of it." He's a Florida boy. He's like, "I don't want no part of it." He says, "I couldn't even go on the back porch and smoke a cigarette without freezing." And so, but anyway, so they went up there. So we kept our 3 grandchildren. Roy, Elijah, and Nico. And I could not leave my wife with all 3 of those children by herself, even for an hour to do the show, because trust me, it was all hands on board to keep track of them and keep them under control. Nico is only like 16, 18 months old, something like that. So he's a handful. And then the other 2 do what?
Nothing. I was bringing up the YouTube feed.
Anyway, but so anyway, yeah. So we had them all. We had them Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and they flew back in on Monday. So we actually had them Thursday night, but they brought them over and they went straight to bed. So you can't really count that because we didn't see them till the next morning. And here's the good thing: they sleep till 8 o'clock in the morning. So it's like, wow. You know, you get a good night's rest. So, but anyway,
but you pay for it the next day, don't you?
Huh?
You pay for it the next day, though, don't you?
Yeah. And Leonard Davis, I know he's not out there right now. He said he was on. He said he'd have to watch the rerun. He says a family member having a birthday party, and he had to go to the birthday party. I understand that. That's no problem. But when you hear this or you see it, I told him, ding, 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 you won. I went to sit down in the recliner with Nico, and even though he's like 16 months or whatever, he's a little chunker. And as soon as I went to sit down, I had a burning sensation in my knee, and I possibly tore or maybe mildly have a tear in my quadricep tendon. And I'm like, are you kidding me for real? So anyway. That's what's going on. But I appreciate y'all being out there and holding on. I know it's been 2 weeks, and I'm sorry about that, but just things happen when it becomes family. Next thing that I'd like to report that I heard, and some of you may have also read it, Mark Christopher actually is making posts. He said he had permission from his wife. But anyway, to make a long story short, the 23rd of March, Chris Cute passed away. For those of you who had not heard, Chris Cute was a really good guy. I met him several times when we were at the woodworking show. Really nice guy. He had his own channel. I think what was Make the First Cut or the First Cut or whatever YouTube channel. I noticed he hadn't been doing YouTube videos in quite some time. I guess because he was sick or whatever, but. To make a long story
because they were concentrating on the podcast for a while.
Yeah, that's true. Yes, he was concentrating on the podcast, but yes, he has passed away. If you want to look up Mark Christopher, I don't have the link unless
I got his channel here.
Al, you can do your magic
Chris
handiwork.
Cute. You're talking about Chris Cute?
Yes, he has a GoFundMe page, and Mark Christopher posted it. I think you're friends with Mark Christopher, aren't you?
I am.
Here's Chris Cute. This is his YouTube. That's
yes,
what
and
I'm
then you can find the GoFundMe page if you want to put that out there, so people that want to donate to his wife. Yeah, Mark Christopher had posted it, so if you look up Mark Christopher, you'll see him. And for those of you who wonder why Chris is over there flying in the show, is because the light in his shop is motion activated, so when it goes off, he has to wave his arms. I thought he was trying to fly out on us. So
that will be rectified in the new shop eventually. So.
Yeah, I'll bet. I would drive me crazy.
Sorry, driving me nuts. I was trying to unload a box the other night, and all of a sudden it got pitch black in here. So.
And it has been brought to my attention by more than one person. Actually, a couple on the panel actually told me about this. We are going to do the Whirligig Wars, but we're moving it until next month is April. We're moving it to May. The reason being is because it's still winter in most of the northerner places, and people can't get out and do whirligigs. Somebody by the name of Jim and Paul complained about how cold it was where they were at. So
I didn't complain. I just stated a fact.
We'll push off till May to give those people that live up north of the Mason-Dixon line a chance to warm up there a little bit more. So we'll push the Whirligig Wars until May. Actually, we didn't usually run it until June or July, but I want to do a little early this year, but we'll push it till May to give everybody a little bit more of a chance to warm up. So that's the only thing I have to do. Other than that, Chris, tell everybody where we can find you.
Hi, guys. Chris here at the Old Cranky Workshop. You'll find me here on Saturday nights on YouTube, Facebook, and in the new shop at the new house. A couple small items left to move over, but for the most part, we're done. And my wife is decorating like there's absolutely no tomorrow.
So you're
the credit card.
So you're what, 96% moved in?
I'd say even more than that. It's just going through the closets and removing a bunch of smalls. So
yeah,
all the big stuff's over here. Oh, and the washer dryer, but we got guys moving that on Monday. So
okay. So how did the move go? Pretty easy?
Flawlessly. You guys are ever in a move? I know they're a national company. College Hunks. They are a fantastic company to work with. I couldn't crow more about them. They were just great. They were on time.
That's good.
They were careful with everything. I said, listen, you guys got to be careful with my table saw. The last movers put something heavy on top, and it took me 6 months to flatten that table out again and get it flush. Nope, they didn't put a damn thing on it. They moved it very carefully. So
well, that's good.
They did a great job. So remember, College Hunks.
I'm glad you're now a permanent. Yeah, I know you were a permanent resident, but you're a permanent resident now.
Yeah, we're no longer renters. We own. We owe the bank a lot of money. Let's put it that way. They own us. So.
Yeah.
But it's
all right, Paul.
We rented our dream house, if nothing else. So
yeah, I'm glad you're here. Paul, tell us where we can find you.
Paul Corliss you can find me on YouTube and on Instagram at Paul's Messy Workshop. And it's like I tell Matt Haas every time I talk to him, he says, "Is it still messy?" I says, "It is. It gets worse by the day."
That's like my shop.
I go in there, and after about 5 or 10 minutes, I get frustrated and bored, and I just give up on it.
That's me. It's my son the other day. I told him I'm going to clean my shop, and he says it's going to take you 2 or 3 days, Dad, because he went out there the other day and saw it, and he goes, "Oh my God, I don't think I've ever seen this shop this bad." And I said, "Yeah." So, Donna.
Hey everybody, Donna's Wooden Art, Donna's Embroidery Plus. You can find me on Facebook. A couple more months, I'll have some YouTube videos out. Other than that, I'm home.
Al Forte.
Kilroy 79763. All over the place, just for fun, guys. It's a great hobby. I love it. 2 p.m. Sunday, Kilroy 79763 on Twitch. is when I stream. I'm currently working on transplanting the motors out of a real RC car into one that I 3D printed a while back, and I've got to get it finished because Paul will tell me that I never finish any project.
I can count your finished projects on one hand.
But anyway, do I need to pull it out? By golly, do I need to pull it out?
I've been saying I was going to get a background for this, and I still ain't done it.
Remember, no matter what you do it just for fun. There you go.
Yep. Donald?
Oh, hey, I'm Donald Matthews from Donald Vlogifies Wood Shop on YouTube. You can find me there on YouTube and Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And I've got a website called redneckknowhow.com.
Great. Jim?
Jim Bashir from Driveway Workshop. And I've done nothing here because it's been cold.
Yeah.
Driveway Cold Workshop, right?
Yeah.
Cold Driveway Workshop. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, we just went over 150 messages already in the chat.
Yeah, they're busy over there.
Pretty wild. All right, let's go back through first before we get Donald is our guest tonight, even though he's a panel member. What he's started this project I thought was pretty cool. He's got a couple of videos out. We might visit those videos, but he's building his grandson's cradle. I thought it was pretty cool. And Chris, I will get with that guy. I forgot about that. There's just been so much going on, but I'll get with him and try to set up a time.
Yeah, especially because he's my wife's cousin, so I never hear the end of it.
No problem. Yeah, just so much going on around here lately. It's just like, but Aussie Man's out there. He even said it's been a dry couple of weeks. He's glad to have the show back. But Aussie Man's out there. At the beginning, everybody, it's just us. It's out there.
Just us girls.
Yep, just us girls. Who else is? I know there's more people out there than just us. Dan Inge from Dan Inge Woodworking. Chris Nealon's out there. I keep on seeing Donna Presley. Donna, you've been talking a lot in the chat tonight. Brooks Martin's out there in the chat. Brooks Martin, Michelle Marcoux. Glad to have you back, Michelle Marcoux. I know you. You haven't went anywhere. It's us that's been missing. So glad to have all y'all out there in the chat. Rick St. Louis, James Parker, all out there. I seen can't even think of his name. Polly Wants a Crafter. What's his name?
Jerry.
Jerry.
Jerry Brown. Yeah,
Jerry
from
Brown,
Polly
yes.
Wants a Crafter. Yep, he's out there.
Did you say Herb Scrolling Station?
No. And JJE. Thank y'all all for being out there. I appreciate it. Very Herb Scrolling Station. Thank you for being out there, Herb. And Donald Vlogs Fly Woodshop. He goes, I'm here too.
Donald who?
Yeah, I just remembered I had that window open.
Hey, before we get into with Donald.
Donald's got a grandson. And tell us a little bit about him. How long? I mean, you said he's like 20.
Well, he was born on March the 7th. They weren't expecting him till the 11th.
Hey, it's my birthday.
He decided to pop on out here. He wanted to be like Chris, I reckon.
Lucky number 7.
But he spent about 10 days in NICU because he was having problems getting his breath and breathing right.
Yeah, I remember you posting about that. How big? How many pounds? And how long?
He was born, I believe it was 6 pounds 4 ounces, and then last Monday he was 6 pounds 11 ounces, and 20 inches long.
That's tall. That is.
I got a basketball player.
Yes.
Yes, that is tall for a baby. Yes, 20 inches is tall.
she was telling me that, and I was like, I kind of got a late start on it between Mama passing away and me just being the lazy joker I am, procrastinating and all that. I told her, I was like, dang, Cradle ain't gonna be for 36 cents. Might go ahead and
So,
just start me.
did you have a pattern that you like went after or saw something, or how did you come up with the idea?
I went looking for plans and I found one on hang on a second here. It was from craftsmanspace.com.
Yep.
And I'm basically loosely going by that. The sides of it on theirs has spindles, and I'm not using spindles, I'm just making it solid. But the reason for that is I'm adding inserts into those sides, metal inserts, so you can screw them in and unscrew them to take it apart. So you don't have this one big piece of furniture that you're never going to use again floating around.
Right. No, that's a good idea. I'd say. And when you say you're going by the plans, I noticed you had a little boo-boo that messed up on where the legs were going to fall out on the rockers the other day.
Yeah, it just so happened that where they were supposed to be at, where I printed out the pattern, things got askew somehow. I'm not exactly sure how I did that, but there was enough wood there that I could still glue it there and make it solid and all that. I just rounded that section that was supposed to come up into the legs, just kind of rounded that off and make it look like the rest of the pattern down there.
Oh yeah. Whenever you said I saw that piece and I realized what you were talking about, yeah, you can round that off and you'll never even pay attention to it.
I just, I had to knock a little bit off of each back corner there so it would fit up in there right. And I went ahead and added it called for one dowel to go down in there, but that made me nervous from the beginning. I went ahead and put 2 in there just to keep it from,
as they say, it wasn't a mistake, it was a design change.
Yes, I mean, the design change. Yep. So what types of wood are you using on it?
Most of it is pine, but the legs are Douglas fir. I took a Douglas fir 4x4 from my favorite blue store and just ripped it in half, then ripped it in half again, and got 4 square pieces and made a leg out of it.
Nice.
And the rest of it.
Did you use like clear pine on it, or did you just get
white pine? They're higher grade pine to have.
Okay.
You know, that higher grade pine you're talking about actually does very well for burning in the laser.
Does it?
Yes, I've used it a few times to make a few things, and yeah, it works very well.
I'm still debating on whether to do whether just leave it plain, do a little bit of carving in it, or maybe even I've thought about doing some wood burning in it. I don't have a laser, but it kind of depends on time and how big it gets. I want them to at least get a couple of weeks use out of it.
Yeah. What's your is it Donald Vlogs5 Woodshop on your YouTube channel, or I thought it was Donald Matthews?
No, Donald Vlogs5.
Oh, okay. Well, I was looking so I could.
What?
Donald.
Anyway, y'all ask him some questions. So I'm trying to use YouTube.
Donald, how did you come up with the last name Vlogsify?
What originally the original channel I did was just me doing vlogs. I just getting up there being silly and talking about, I was going to talk about current events and stuff like that, and it just never really went off that great. So I started posting some videos of me doing some of my woodworking stuff, and people seemed to like that. So I just moved it on over to a separate channel, and rather than change my name so everybody knew who I was, I kept it as Donald Vlogs5. So that's just
Makes sense.
Blogifies was just I was looking for something unique, and
Yeah.
that's one of them redneck words that we come up with. And
Okay, I was going to say stage name, but I guess in your case it'd be redneck name.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I got you. Or
Just
backwoods name. Yeah, not stage name, but
yeah, just being stupid. I mean, but yeah,
I wouldn't know how to be silly ever.
But if you go looking for that original YouTube channel, it's still there, but expect it ain't for kids. There's some humor in there that's just not for kids.
Is it adult humor? I don't want no kids falling across it.
It is some dirty jokes. Yeah. not necessarily vulgar jokes, but it's oriented toward adults. And some of my commentary on events of the world at the time and all that's adult stuff.
Yeah. Just a real quick insert. I pulled up your first video, and I just want to make sure that you tell everybody you give me permission to run your video on my show.
Please run my video on your show.
Well, I don't want them to come back later and say you're doing something illegal or whatever, because those idiots will do it. They pop
YouTube that
they
to
popped
do it
me
anyway.
for a song from a video I did 3 or 4 years ago and said it was copyrighted. And I'm like, you know what? I just put on there, you can have several choices. Delete the song out of I just said, delete the dang song. That video is 4 years old. I don't give a flip. It's like no big deal.
They actually nailed me one time. Somebody filed a copyright strike, or their algorithm picked it up or something like that. Some company, ringtone company or something like that. It was music that I picked up from YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, but what gets me is some of these people will, post music and say, yeah, go ahead and use it, whatever. And then like 3 or 4 years later, they change their mind.
Yeah.
And they come up and they lock it. And then YouTube goes crazy, going after everybody that used the music when the guy said you could use it. It's just weird.
There was at one time this happened to me. I actually went outside, took my camera, recorded a thunderstorm, took the sound from that and put it over a part of one of my videos. And at the time, there was a ringtone company that was nailing everybody back then with copyright strikes. Over a thunderstorm nailed me for that.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. Like I said, that video is like 4 or 5 years old. So I'm like, oh, just don't worry about it. Delete the song. There ain't nobody going to watch that video anymore now. So
I got
I'm
popular
having
radio
trouble.
in the background.
Do you, Donald, have the cradle handy?
I got the part I got finished.
Can you make them big so we can see it, Russ?
There you go.
Yeah. I'm going to share this video too. My deadburn test bar is like locked in position, and I've never locked it before. So I don't know how the heck it
was messing up on me the other day too. I had to reboot. Yeah.
Oh, okay. There. Yeah.
Nice.
There you go.
And it looks nice.
Yeah.
Donald.
Yeah, it does. So
I like
there's
that.
2 of them like that, and then they'll cradle back and forth, rock back and forth.
Yeah,
Cool.
So that is one solid piece of wood for the rocker, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just one piece
Yeah.
of pine that I just kind of
Nice.
Right.
took to the balance off.
How are you going to connect the footer and the header together, or the bed?
I've got the sides here. I'm gonna cut. I guess you'd call them dados or whatever. For those to slide in here on each side. Then I've got inserts I'm gonna add to the sides, and put some holes over here with some wash on the other side over here with washers, so you can just screw that part in.
Gotcha.
And that way it can be took apart. And I'm gonna run some slats across the bottom down here to lay the bottom in.
Right.
And the bottom will just lay in. It's not gonna be attached or anything. Just lay it on top.
Right.
Of the slab.
Like you were saying, or you could take it apart to store it.
Right.
Yeah.
Or to
I got
move
news
it.
for you. In 2 years from now, he won't fit in that.
Oh, I know.
Maybe there'll be a new one in 2 years. You know?
Well, you never know.
Yeah, never know. It might be Donald's. Who knows?
She ain't said she absolutely ain't yet.
Right.
Let me see if I got some pictures of them here.
Yeah, go ahead.
You know, Donald, I'm kind of envious of you because my youngest grandkid is like, he just had his second birthday, but I haven't been able to get out and do anything and make stuff like that for the babies when they were, you know, just here. So it's kind of cool to watch you build that stuff and have some kind of an heirloom kind of thing for your grandkids when they're growing up.
I got a horse rocking chair that I haven't finished.
Okay, let me see if I can figure this thing out here. Present.
Good luck. Ask Paul.
That's my line.
That's why
my
he's
line.
here.
Yeah, I didn't read everything Jim Dockrell said. Oh, they tried. YouTube tried to hit him for a copyright. With the sound of a mallet hitting a chisel. And he asked for a manual review, and they dropped it. I know that some of the stuff is just so stupid. And this song was a song, like Donald said, I picked out of YouTube Music. So somewhere I didn't even argue with it. It's like I said, it's a 4 or 5 year old video. So
Are you seeing that?
Nope.
No, we're seeing you. Please
Nope.
change.
Hold on. Do it again. Do it again. It popped up in the feed. I have to approve it, but it popped up in the feed. So do it again.
Okay.
Thin beard.
When I said no at the exact time I said no, it popped up in my feed. There we go.
All right.
And let me find him again.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh.
There you go.
Thank God he don't look anything like you.
He's got that same
Really?
look I get though.
Jim was asking, when does the kid have a beard too, like Donald does? So obviously not.
Not yet, but he will. Hey, I was FaceTiming with him the other day, and he just got done eating. He had them groggy eyes and everything. And I said, you ready to come do some working with Grandpa? And his eyes opened up. I said, that's my boy. That's him while he was. I photoshopped that dog in there.
You did, didn't you? Had you not said that, I wouldn't have known it.
No,
really.
My housemate has a thing with her son. She's trying to get her son to buy her a dog, and he bought her this stuffed animal. So now every other day or so, she sends a picture to him of her walking the dog, of the dog trimming the weeds or something like that. So I did that, and she sent him that one. That's him when he found out he was going home.
Oh.
Yeah.
And it wasn't with you.
Yeah.
No, it was to get out of the hospital where he was.
Looks like he just farted.
And
Oh yeah, he had that relief.
to give
That's
you
a good dog. You don't have to feed them or take them out.
Look at that.
that was him just a few.
He is tall.
Dang, man.
I thought it was the
Yeah, that's-
angle, and she told me how long he was. I was like, Lord,
No, you can tell by that picture that he's
He's
tall.
And I call him a little long-legged runt.
Yeah. My grandson Nico, we had over this weekend. He's got some big feet. I mean, like, I was like looking at him, going like, "Holy crap, kid! You got some big feet."
But I ain't proud of him.
No, I can tell you're not proud of him.
No, not at
No,
all.
not at all.
Nope.
I'm proud of my daughter too. I mean, Lord have mercy, because I was more worried about her and the father, because her brother, my son, he spent about 2 weeks in NICU, and I remember going through that. It is a hard thing for a new parent. You see your baby in there, and
Yeah.
I
I
was
remember
stressed
our
over
first
him.
one. Jeez.
Yeah. My
Sometimes
daughter.
them grandkids get huge.
when my daughter had the twins, Millie and Mason, they were preemies, and they had to be in the neonatal intensive care unit for like 3 weeks. They were doing good, don't get me wrong, but they still had to be in there because of their weight and different things, and they had a couple of complications. One of them was breathing. So she was like a nervous wreck. But she, one of the things that was good for her, she got to spend a lot of time up there with them because she was breastfeeding. So she has to be there, to give them the milk to be able to get, even if they can't take it, she gives them the milk so they can use it for them. So, but in the very end, we finally got to be able to go in there and see them. And man, we had to put on hospital gowns. We had to wash your hands for 10 minutes. I'm serious.
Until the skin comes
here's
off.
the funny part. You wash your hands for 10 minutes to make sure they're clean, and then they put gloves on you.
Yep.
I'm like, really?
I was waiting for him to tell me to wash the gloves next.
Yeah. No, that looks really good. All right, so if I can get this thing, is it present now? It's not.
I shut mine down.
Yeah, share screen. It's present. Share screen. All right, so share screen.
Paul,
share
come
this
out.
one.
Come on. Oh, he must have stumbled into it.
Yeah, he must have.
Yeah, a lucky click.
Yeah.
All right, is it coming on?
No, it's there. All you gotta do is run it. Yeah.
Play.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure it was there.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
there's such
there.
a big lag. I'm looking at my screen to make sure it's there on the other computers, and it's like, holy crap! It takes like. It'll take like half of the show.
It's just now going over to YouTube. Just now.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, geez. All right. So, Donald, tell us what you're doing.
Well, this is where I'm marking that 4x4 to rip it down into 4 pieces. And here I'm ripping it down. In the video, I didn't show me do the whole thing because I'm still learning on that bandsaw, and I was having problems having to back it out. The blade was wanting to wander and stuff like that, which here I'm fixing those little problems.
Yeah.
It's about a 1/4 inch thinner than I was planning on it being. But it worked out all right. And this, I'm drilling to join the pine boards. They were 3/4 by 5 inches, 6 inches.
Right.
I'm drilling the holes to put the dowels in. And Scott, you had him on as a guest. I can't remember his last name, with the shopsmiths and stuff. I saw on his video these things that he gotten from Harbor Freight where you can drill the holes here and put those little pieces in there and line the boards up and mark where you need to drill the dowels from the board.
Oh, nice.
Yes, they sell them all over. Not only at Harbor Freight, Rockler has them, Woodcraft has them, all of them have them.
And you
can find them on Amazon too. But yes,
it made a world of difference.
Yes, those work magnificently. You put them in the hole that you drill, and then line the board, and you like push them together, and it makes the mark to show you right where it's at.
And this is me using them there.
Yep, I love those.
And
The Harbor Freight one. I have to say, the Harbor Freight, the actual jig, not the little. I don't know what to call them, the little pins, but the jigs are kind of jicky, but the pins are awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
It still didn't come out perfect, but it's better than I could have done any other way.
I've got some of those little collars too that I get the same collars that you put on your drill bit to show you how deep to go.
Yeah. The collars are definitely. Yeah, I love dowels. I
do too. I like dowels better than biscuits.
Yeah, I do too.
I got the biscuit thing a long time ago for Christmas. And then we started getting these videos last year before last that tell you that the biscuits are just for alignment and not to help with the strength. And
Yes,
it's like my
I told
whole
you guys
life
that
was
one
a
time
lie.
myself, that the guy from Tight Bond came down and said you're not supposed to glue the biscuits; they're only for aligning.
Yeah, that is what he said. I
It's
remember.
like Norm,
Yeah, and I'm like,
you know,
what? I've been doing it
Yeah.
wrong for the last 30, 40
Yeah.
years, huh?
it was like Norm Abram has been lying to me my whole life.
Exactly.
I couldn't believe it.
Which I don't see why you wouldn't glue them. I mean, I glued the dowel.
Yeah.
Well, his thing is,
It makes them swell.
well, that's a whole other
it makes them
story.
swell, and it pushes the wood out. And at
Well,
that
you
Yeah,
got to
that's
plane
what
it
his-
anyway.
Yeah.
Well, I agree, but still. So I guess you're back
sanded.
working on the legs.
Yeah, this is me actually getting them down to the actual size and the shape, and making sure they're square.
Well, I'm always amazed at you're working with I won't say the bare necessities, but you're working with a shopsmith, and a lot of the stuff you do is by hand, and I'm always amazed at some of the stuff you produce.
And this is me finding the 10-degree angle for cutting things out.
You
The
know,
ends
Right.
out.
Yeah,
That's
you
the
do
best
very, very well.
That angle finder there is the best thing I've ever won off of a contest.
Oh yeah, I've got one of those. Yeah, they are fantastic.
And that board there, I had took the plane to it, but that white pine, unless you really got a real sharp plane, it tears. So I wound up just sanding it.
Yeah, it'll pull little chunks out.
Mm-hmm. So I just wound up switching over to the sander. Of course, this is me cutting it out. I thought about doing it. I
cannot believe you're cutting that with a handsaw.
Yeah, I'm just.
Well, I thought about doing it on the shopsmith with the table saw and all that, but the table I got so small and I don't really have the extensions. It just worked out better for me to do it by hand.
Okay, so there you are cutting the.
That's and
Just
that
goes
top,
to show
I
you
just,
you don't need all the big tools. The expensive.
Right.
No, yeah, and that's what I said. It's always amazing to watch some of the stuff that he makes, and it's it's pretty well by hand. I mean, yeah, you're right, Dixon. He don't have all those fancy schmancy tools that a lot of people have.
and to mark that, I just found the center line and took a scribing tool and just kind of did my little round markings and stuff.
That looks great.
Nice. Very cool.
It's not exactly perfect as far as measurements and stuff, as far as which hole.
Well, it's called Donald. It's not supposed to be perfect. It's called handmade.
Exactly. That's the whole idea of handmade.
And see, what's that for an object you've got in your hand now?
That would be a chisel and mallet.
Oh,
wow.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. That's
what those
an
things are.
analog CNC.
Yeah.
And there's where I screwed up.
Analog CNC.
That was where I screwed up a little bit and had to glue a little piece of that edge down.
Now,
The thing is, you never know it until you tell somebody. You don't know it. You can't see it.
Yeah.
Until you point it out. You're the one that did it, so you know it's there. But otherwise, nobody knows.
I gotta go get something to drink. And
know,
I'll be right
we were
back.
talking
But yeah,
about-
then we'll go into video number 2 of Donald's cradle build.
We were talking about dowels and stuff, and the biscuits, and how the biscuits are for alignment. And I thought dowels were for alignment also, but dowels actually strengthen the joint. I'm reading an article.
I think biscuits would work both
I'm
ways.
reading an article, and here's the article. Will it go through? But for good reasons why to use dowels. And like I said, I love using them with that little jig. Don't get the one at Harbor Freight. I've got 2 already, and they're both broken. Spend some money on a good jig, but man, you can drop the holes in there and align stuff, and then in conjunction with those little, I forgot what they're called. Those little ferrules. I don't know.
Yeah, I used to call them pins.
What are they?
Pins.
Pins.
That's just what I call them.
PIN pins.
Oh yeah, those man, they definitely like Russ said, they definitely make it great because they mark the other hole that you're going to drill into.
You
I
look
didn't
at how
even
they
see a
built all
jig
the
for 'em.
Look how they built all the log cabins and everything way back. They had none of that. They were doing exactly that. They were using pins and joints, and it was all wood.
Yeah.
You know, when I'm putting two pieces together like that, I don't have that set of locator pins like you guys are talking about, where you drill a hole in one side, stick the thing in it, and then push it against the wood on the other side to get the holes to line them up. I just take little, like the smallest nails I can find, and I nail them into one side, clip the top off, and then push them together. And then that'll make a hole on the other board. Then you can just go there and drill a hole in it, and they're perfectly lined up.
Well, you've seen how they take the nail in the head of it and they tap it into the wood all over the head, and then they take the second piece and tap it on there, and there's your marks.
Yeah,
for drilling.
That's exactly what this is doing.
Yeah, same thing.
I've done that before. I just like these because they fit right in the hole you drill.
Oh, they're great. Yeah, I got to get a set next time I go to Harbor Freight. But
and they weren't but about. They didn't cost nothing. I mean,
yeah.
You buy your own dowels, Donald?
Yeah. Some came with the kit that little kit that I bought, but I like using dowels because I run down to the store, pick up a 3/8 inch dowel and cut it down to the size I need, and I'm good. The
reason I'm saying, because if you take and you drill a 1/4 inch hole in a piece of metal, stiff metal, and then you take a piece of wood and put it on the end of a drill, and you push the wood down into it. Of course, you got to cut it, the right size. You push the wood into it. It actually cuts it round. And say you need 5 more, and you're in the middle of it. You can do that without having to run down to the store and get it.
I mean, worst case scenario, I'll put it on the lathe. I've turned dowels on the lathe.
Yeah, there you go. You can do that too. Sure. Exactly.
I found though that I get like wheels and stuff like that to make toys with, and the place that I found that has the most defined specifications for their stuff, like if they say it's a 3/8 hole, it's a 3/8 hole, is Woodpeckers. So if you guys are ever looking for something that you need it to be what it's called, and it's not a millimeter off or something like that. Because
you were talking about that the other day. I went over there and checked them out and saved them.
Yeah, those guys are good. They're good.
I got a feeling I'm gonna be making some of them before too long too.
I just noticed that
you probably will.
James Parker posted out there that his wife has been real sick. She was sleeping in a recliner, and they finally got her an adjustable bed to sleep in. So
she's got cancer.
Keep you and your wife in my thoughts and prayers.
Yeah, Rick St. Louis says they're called Dow centers.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Thanks, Rick.
Yep.
Okay, so I just want to touch base real quick with this. According to Type Bond Expert, Type Bond is a PLA glue or whatever, but it's water based. So therefore, some of the biscuits that are used on the market are made of really cheap wood, not nice hardwood. You can buy hardwood biscuits, you pay extra for them. So what was happening was that people were gluing the biscuits in and putting the thing together, and the wood would actually absorb the moisture while it was trying to dry out of the glue into the biscuit, and the biscuit was swelling and therefore leaving humps. Everywhere you'd see a biscuit, there'd be a hump. So and he said that if you go back and look at the history and read, biscuits were never intended to be glued in. They were supposed to be for alignment only.
My life is a lie.
Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just telling you what I was told.
I've got a biscuit maker machine or whatever you want to call it, and I rarely use it. It kind of takes.
I've used biscuits for years, but I have glued them all in. Every time I just glue it like I do the dowels. I mean,
I can
glue it up, right. It's going to get glue all over it anyway. So
I can see a thin piece of wood expands. It's going to expand the wood at that spot. Right.
Yeah.
That's.
I mean, I have used biscuits for years. I put there's 2 or 3 things in this room that I made that has biscuits in it. Never had that problem, and I guess it's just one of those fluky things. But I glue my biscuits in, and I'm not going to change anything I do. It's worked for me for all these years, and so what the heck? But
That
we need to get.
I've never used biscuits all that much. I don't have a biscuit cutter or the thing.
Yeah, the machine. Yeah.
I just draw it at best, worst. I'll put in a mortise and cut some like domino.
Right.
I do my own stuff there.
No, I like I said, that's the first time I've ever heard that. And all right, so let's go to preset, share screen, baby crib part 2 share. And it should pop up here in a second for everybody out there. Yep, there it goes. It's popping up.
All
right, so yep. How do you say his name?
Elam.
Oh, I call him Ellen.
Okay. I know. That's what I was going to say. I thought it was Elam. Hey, I'm the world. You're joining the club. You're joining the club, Al, as far as making mistakes with people's names.
Oh, I make mistakes all the time.
He's gonna be like your grandpa. He's gonna answer all sorts of names.
I'm even keeping a list of.
So you're making the edges to put the panels in.
Right. Put panels into the legs.
Yeah.
And these I'm cutting a little groove into it. I don't know why I decided not to just put the whole thing in there. I reckon just to make sure the wood stopped before it got too deep in there.
Now there you go. That's using your head. Making the sandpaper on a dowel, and so you can sand those things out. Yeah.
And this is actually how I worked on it. I got tired of doing this for a little bit, so I'd go over there and sand on the other part a little bit. My hands got tired doing that.
Right. I get what you're saying. Sometimes, yeah, just take a break from that particular thing for a while. Okay, so this must be the rockers you're cutting.
Yeah. And I printed out the pattern, and apparently I got it skewed or something like that. That's why the legs aren't.
Cool.
But it worked out for the best. I mean, it worked out okay anyway.
Yeah. No, like I said, if you hadn't have posted that you made that mistake, I don't think anybody would have ever known.
Donald, I want to know something. What are you saying to that wood? I see your mouth opening and closing like, come on, you dirty rat.
I'm trying to tell that blade to stay still and quit bending.
I knew he was saying something. I knew he was.
That's why it is.
Yeah,
if his voice.
If it was if it was live instead of recorded, there'd be a lot of beep 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 beep.
Why do you think I only put music to it?
Everybody talks to their tools. That son of a.
Yeah.
Right. I have a bunch of sons and a bunch of mothers in my shop.
Especially when your first time. This is really my first time trying to shape stuff like this on a bandsaw. So I was on a learning curve myself. And this, I'm rounding off the ends of those legs.
I know. First time I made a bandsaw box, I broke 2 blades because I was still learning how to do the curves.
That's where
all
I
right.
screwed
So
up.
I gotta know what happened there, dude.
Instead, I drilled a hole, and I thought I had myself enough room with that hole in there to put the bit down in there and fire up the machine, and then start moving. Well, apparently, I had touched the side when I went to fire up the machine, and it kicked. But I fixed that with some epoxy.
Yeah.
Oops.
It just looks like a knot. It looks like I'm really good at carving, chiseling in a knot now.
Yeah.
I was going to say that board's really moving, but that's your guides.
Yeah, that's the guides. Okay, now we see the fix. Now we see the fix.
No, you see the design change.
Yeah.
Way to go, Donald.
Nobody's going to know it's there.
Right.
No.
Except the black mark.
No, it just looks like I chiseled into a knot now. I mean,
Yeah.
Actually, it looks great.
You keep saying that.
No,
dude.
like I said, I can't repeat enough that I'm really amazed at some of the work that you produce in your shop with, and predominantly a lot of hand stuff.
and this is me just moving up the rounded parts of the leg.
You actually show the world that you can do it without spending $3,000 for a CNC.
Well, I got no choice because I can't afford $3,000.
I understand, but I'm just saying you're actually showing the world that you can do it without all that special equipment.
Hey, necessity is the mother of invention, man.
Indeed.
Exactly.
Indeed.
And this is the part that really scared me, is trying to get the angle on the legs in that
Yeah, that would
groove
scare
there,
me too.
which still didn't turn out perfect, but ain't nobody gonna notice.
No, it looks great.
Until the kid rocks to one side and falls out.
Yeah, you hear this big crack.
Well, that would be
Yeah.
the reason for the 2 dowel pins instead of just the 1.
Yeah.
and
The old handsaw.
between,
See,
I
now,
would think
that right there, I totally understand why you're cutting it with that, because there is no way I think you can cut that without being that. How do I want to put it? Not necessarily accurate, but so that it wouldn't put too much pressure on it to break the pieces.
that, and with a bandsaw, if you could do it on a bandsaw, but me, for some reason, the bandsaw blade has a tendency to twist a little bit, so the
Right.
bottom's not as
Yep.
straight as the top, and I'm so
Look at
used to
that.
doing this by hand now that it's easier for me to just put it up there and do it by hand.
No, that's fantastic.
Dude.
Now, I did on a couple of these pieces take it over there and I guess you'd call it, give it relief cuts or whatever on the bandsaw, just to make it easier to cut out.
As you're building them arms that makes it rock, you make sure you cut it crooked a little bit, so as they get older, it rocks right toward the door.
Nice shot.
Yeah, Chris Pine out there says, "Hi everyone. I don't use biscuits all that much either. I don't have a biscuit cutter. I do have a router bit that is for it, but I be hard pressed to find it." Yeah. Ossiman says, "I've used them and never had swelling." And I know. I mean, when this guy came down and was telling us that, the predominant thing in the whole room of the my woodworking club was that we all looked at each other going like, "What?" Everybody in there was like, "We've been gluing them for years." So
Quite honestly, I think that biscuit cutter is the one tool I wasted money on. I think I've used it twice.
I didn't waste money on it, but I will say one thing, that I don't use it that often. I mean,
Right.
I'm not putting together that many pieces or whatever. Now, when I built my son and I built his dining room table, we didn't have enough. We got clear. He wanted to use clear pine, and we bought it at the Home Depot, and we used biscuits to put that together. And I glued it.
By the way, Wood If I Could, John says that he uses gravy on his biscuits.
Gravy on his biscuits.
Nice fit, Donald.
Yum.
I like that. That's gravy on his biscuits.
And
Yeah.
this is the joy of it actually worked right.
Yeah. Nice fit.
All right.
Donald.
Part
Well done.
3 coming soon.
Yeah, hopefully I'll have that out there by next week.
Well, I just hope
Hopefully-
the algorithm doesn't pop me for
You're
using
busted, man.
your
You're
videos on my show.
Busted.
You have me on video saying it was quite all right for you to
Well,
use.
I'm going to probably put in the thing down there that, used with Donald Vogsla's.
Oh, Donald's rocking it now. He's sitting there dancing, doing a little happy dance. Get down tonight.
One thing that I have learned about this thing with the rocker, I salute anybody that makes rocking chairs, because getting those things aligned right, and
I know.
Oh yeah, I agree. I have an old rocking chair that was my mother's, and the kids. It's old, and the kids were rearing back one day and snapped one of the rockers, and I about cried because I'm like, this is not going to be an easy fix. And so, yeah, it was a pain in the butt. And now the fortunate thing is, I had the rocker that was on there to use to mark out to cut the new one, so to speak. But yeah, it wasn't easy to remanufacture that thing. And then the legs, you have to bore the holes exactly at the angle to get the legs to go back into it, so to speak. And yeah, it was a pain in the butt to fix that rocking chair. And needless to say, the grandkids don't get and play in that her rocking chair and play in it anymore. Yeah, it's too much of a pain to fix.
Donald, I'm impressed. That was watching you cut those slots for the rocker. That was very, very cool. You don't see a lot of people doing handwork like that.
You're a better man than I am, Mr.
Donald. Jim Dockrell says Donald can claim all the ad revenue for the show. Wow, 37 cents.
You get that much?
That's what
Portal Woodwork says I've had a biscuit cutter for years and never used it. It's like I said, it's not that common of a thing. I have one, I've used it, but I would say it's one of those things I use every couple of years, or you know what I'm saying? It's not that often. But what you have to be needing to do is join panels.
Right.
And I don't do that much where I need to join panels. Like I said, my son years ago, he wanted me and him to build him a dining room table. And so we built his dining room table, and we used clear pine, the nice stuff from a Home Depot. I made sure it was, I ran it through the joiner and made sure, but we used biscuits on it and everything. And the biggest problem I had even with it, and even if I how do you want to put it? I reversed, because he wanted it painted. He didn't want it stained, so we wasn't worried about anything. But I reversed the panels or the pieces back and forth, and that sucker still cupped.
Yeah,
it cupped, and I was like, I can't believe this thing cupped. So I ended up turning it upside down. I said, because we were putting 4-inch rails around the side, and then we were going to put the legs in. And I said, so you'll never see this. So I flipped that sucker over, and I put a ton of weight on it and got it nice and flat. And as soon as I got it flat, I took 2x4s, I kid you not, and glued them to the back of that table. His table weighs a ton. And put the put the 2x4s under pressure and the table back under pressure. And did you know it still bent a couple of those 2x4s?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The wood will do what the wood wants to do.
You know how I ended up solving it? I went back down and bought 1.25 inch steel angle iron and screwed them to the table and the side of the 2x4s that were glued to keep that sucker from cupping.
See, I would have launched up some bed rails.
Yeah. So every time we go to move that table, he cusses me, because that thing, you could, if there was an earthquake, if we had earthquakes in Florida and the house shook, you get underneath that table, it's going to stand there. It ain't going nowhere, buddy.
That's the same problem. I was building a buffet for our dining room, and I made the top. I used the biscuits. Only the second time I ever used biscuits. And I came out the next day, even though I flipped all the boards so they were reversed of each other,
Yep.
It's still bowed up in the middle on me.
Yep.
So when I went down to Home Depot to get more lumber, I discovered that they've got these pre-glued up panels.
Right.
Yeah.
They're about 2 feet wide and about 4.5 feet long, something like that. Oh my God, I've used them for 5 or 6 projects now. No more making panel tops for me anymore.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
The work is done.
Well, it was a project that he wanted me and him to. He came back out of the Marine Corps. He was getting married, and they bought a house, and he wanted to build his own dining room table for his house, and it's still there. The reason being is because you can't get it out of the house; it's too damn heavy. but he wanted it, and he painted it a specific color that she wanted, and it looks great. We clear coated it, and they've taken very good care of it. I asked him the other day. I don't even think we've had to clear coat it again yet. So it looks great. I mean, and a lot of people come over and say, "Wow, that's a unique table. Where'd you buy that at?" And he goes, me and my dad made it."
That's the finish is another thing a few people have asked me about on the cradle, because it's I'm not going to have a whole lot of time for stuff to cure and all that, how I'm going to finish it and all that. My plan is, I think this will work from what I've researched and stuff. So it's not toxic to him, is finishing it with vinegar and steel wool. Stain
Right.
for that. I tested a few pieces and all that, and then I'm going to put a coat, maybe 2 coats of shellac over it. And
Yes.
that should be cleared out enough. So
Actually, polyurethane's not toxic, Donald, once it cures.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're talking. There's not going to be a lot of time for it to sit and dry. And
Right. But the thing about polyurethane, you're right. It takes longer for it to cure than shellac. And shellac is very. I mean, if he was to gnaw on one of the boards or whatever, yeah, it's not going to hurt him.
I mean, hopefully, he ain't going to be in it long enough to.
No, but I understand what you're saying. Yeah, the shellac is it's non-toxic, so to speak.
With kids, you never know what they're going to do. That's one of the things why I decided to go with the solid sides, because spindles on cradles kind of make me nervous, because I just get this image of a kid with his head stuck in there. Cribs, it don't bother me so much on, but on little cradles, I see them, and it just makes me nervous.
You're not going to paint it with lead paint like they did years ago?
Nope.
Didn't bother Donald. Look at him.
Yeah, Jim.
Look at what it did for me.
The lifelong exposure of the chemicals is the problem, guys. Not that it's bad now, but it's that exposure during the length of the lifetime. So anything that you can do to cut down on that exposure is good, because polyurethane really isn't child safe. It's not bad, but it's not something that could be recommended.
Well, and here's another point. Lead was okay in paint. It was the kids they put it on cribs. They put it on things that kids, when they start teething, they're going to chew on something.
Yeah.
Well, the kids chewed on the dang crib that had lead paint in it. Of course, it's going to make them sick. But my point being is, if I paint a door and it has lead paint, I can go in and out of that door hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times, and it never bothered me. No. But go ahead and try to chew on it, and you got a problem.
And,
so they just
kids,
lead paint.
They're worse than puppies. When their teeth start coming in, they're worse than puppies for gnawing on stuff.
Oh, I know. They gnaw on everything. Just to say, Jim Dockrell pointed out that not to be a downer, Chris Cute passed away. YouTube makers and yes, Jim. If you'll go back and earlier in the show, we mentioned that in the very beginning, and I also Al posted his YouTube channel.
I'll put it again.
His PayPal account for those that are willing or want to donate to the cause. So. Yes, we're very well aware, Jim Dockrell, that Chris Cute did pass away the other day. I heard, actually, I was contacted by a friend the day of, I think it was, and they told me of it. And but at the point that I found out about it, we were told not to post anything on social media at that time. I think it actually happened the 23rd, if I'm not mistaken. But we were asked not to. But I noticed today that what did I say? Who did I say it was?
Mark Christopher.
Mark Christopher posted about it and posted that there was a.
I got the GoFundMe page out there.
Okay, thank you.
And I'm putting Mark's post up too. So.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate you guys helping me out there. So yeah, I like Chris Cute. I met him at the woodworking show several times. Talked to him a lot. He was a happy-go-lucky guy, a really nice guy. I loved his voice. You know, he came from radio.
Yep, Fort Myers.
Yeah, he came from radio.
In fact, his service will be in Fort Myers.
What are y'all laughing at?
My little comment over there. They're
What?
all talking about
Mommy, lead.
Oh,
Tony-
lead. Yeah.
Talking about
Mommy,
lead.
mommy.
I said kids today will never know the wonderful smell of the exhaust from leaded gas.
Yeah.
No,
Really.
eating more lead.
Yeah, they took the lead out and put alcohol in it, and that's the worst mistake they ever made in their life. Is that
The
alcohol?
water, the nitrogen in the alcohol is just
Yeah,
horrible.
it's just like
Is it nitrogen?
Yeah.
Hydrogen.
it's hydrogen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the alcohol absorbs. Alcohol loves water. I mean, you can put alcohol in a glass, and the water will go to it. It wants to absorb the water. And
that's really
alcohol,
funny
for those
because,
of you who don't know, alcohol is a polar solvent. Alcohol will mix with motor oil, or it will mix with water, either or.
That's really weird because I'm mostly water and I love alcohol. It's the opposite.
So
It's attracting
it's not the
you.
opposite. It absorbs into you very well. Then
Okay.
it wants to mix with the water in your body. So when you drink it, it mixes right in there with you.
Yep.
The
I'll
only
drink
problem
that.
is you don't, depending on what alcohol and how much, you may not mix with other people very well.
Yeah, yeah, that's for sure. All right. Well, I will thank you, Donald, for allowing us to. And I'm looking forward to seeing part 3. I noticed you said
My
part 3 coming soon.
My pleasure.
But, yeah.
I'm having fun with this one. I can't wait
I'll
till he's
bet
old
you
enough.
are.
I can't wait till he's old enough to get out there and help me.
Oh, yeah.
I told his mama the other day I'm already eyeballing chisels for him, and first I got to teach him how to not cut himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So remember,
important.
you can't.
Well,
use
so
the
how many
mess
grandchildren do you
hands.
have, Donald?
This is my first,
Oh,
which is probably why I'm so excited about
yeah,
it.
exactly.
Well, let's put it this way. We have 16 grandchildren because the baby shower I went to today will be the 16th grandchild. And we have 4 great-grandchildren. So you got a long ways to catch up with me, buddy.
I told my daughter that she needed to go ahead and get busy because I wanted to catch up with you. And I said that's about 15 or 16 grandkids, and she told me I lost my ever-loving mind.
Well, now you have to realize we have 7 children. So yeah,
Well, I
we
only
have
got
7
2.
children together. Nancy has 3 children, and I have 4 children. And yeah, they, the Lord said in the Bible, "Be fruitful and multiply." Well, they took that to heart. There's a lot of fruit and multiplying.
I joke around about that, but in all honesty, whatever makes my kids happy.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Trust me, I never in a million years expected to have this many. You should see our family when we get together on Thanksgiving and Christmas. Oh my God, it's like, I mean, just our children and great and grandkids and great grandkids fill my house. There's like close to 30 people here. And that's not cousins. That's not anybody. It's just my kids and grandkids. So it's like
that's my biggest thing with me. Whatever makes them happy.
Yeah.
I'm tickled to death for my daughter. The man she's with, the father. He's a wonderful man. He takes care of her. You can't ask for nothing more.
No, you can't. You can't. We've been fortunate, for the most part, to have good son-in-laws and daughter-in-laws. We've had a few that's been, but I mean that's life. But yeah, we've been fortunate. But yes, to have
Dusty,
all.
my son, 23, 24 now. So he's still, you know,
Let's see if I can pull this up
going
real
through the
quick.
motion.
Cody is 30 years old, and this was okay. This is not here finally open, and it opened twice. So let's see if I can try it again. Cody is 30 years old, 31, 32, or right at 30. Anyway, and oh crap, did I don't have Dropbox on this computer? Oh yeah, there it is. What's I can say? I usually put Dropbox on all my computers. I love Dropbox. It's kind of like an older program, and a lot of people don't use it or like to use it or whatever. But I have Dropbox on my iPhone. I can take a picture or whatever I want and tap on it and transfer it right to Dropbox, and then within minutes it's on my computer. Or I can take something on my computer and transfer it to my iPhone in minutes. And where the heck is the picture?
Yeah, I know what a big family is. My mom had when she was 80 had 32 great grandchildren.
Holy crap! No wonder the world's overpopulated. You people need to slow down.
Yeah.
I
have
was
10 brothers. I have
number
10
5.
brothers and 4 sisters.
I was number 5. So I mean,
I am still my wife's only child. So I get the toys.
Everybody.
Well, apparently I didn't. All right, apparently it didn't transfer from my Dropbox. So give me just. I do want to show you this. Give me just one more second. I can do it another way.
Well, you said minutes, Russ. So we're waiting minutes.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're feeding them, but the grandkids get big too. My grandson, the oldest one, is 11 years old and he's 6 feet.
Jeez.
Wow.
He's
11 years old and he's already 6 foot tall.
Yeah, he's 12 now and he's 6'1", and there's the coach on the side. There he is, the tallest one out of the kids. That's at 10 years old right there.
Hold on, I gotta get back over there. I can see this.
He's as tall as the coach almost.
All right, I'm looking for this. I just wanted to show you this. I'm sorry, Donald's got to brag about his grandkid. So I was hoping I dropped that picture into Dropbox, but for some reason it hasn't showed. It's not showing up on this computer. Oh, come on. I got to wade through all this crap.
Is that Dropbox free?
You can get a free version. Yes. And you're only allowed to put it like on a couple of devices, and you're limited to how much storage. I pay for it because I've got it on pretty much all my computers and on my iPhone. So I can transfer stuff. Like I said, I can take a picture and then I've got files in there that you can share with other people. Like if I own Dropbox, you can download the free version of Dropbox, and I can create a folder for you, and we can exchange stuff through Dropbox in that folder. I'm sorry it's taking so long. It's like they only took 80-something pictures at the baby shower.
At all?
Yes, I'm trying to wade through. I'm trying to wade through the pictures and see.
My question would be how you give a baby that ain't been born yet a shower. My other question would be how would you dry it off?
Yeah. Oh, come on. I know it's out there. Where the heck is it at? All right, I'm probably going to have to give up because it's just Things do not want to cooperate. Really? That X up there means when you hit it, it's supposed to close, right? Well, good luck.
Wake up, Chris.
I'm
Blame
here,
it on
waiting for these
Windows.
pictures.
I know. I'm trying.
Wake up, Russ. As Al gets kicked off the show.
Al,
It's
you
just-
watch the card?
Yes. Yes.
Great episode.
Yes.
Supposedly it's going to get even better.
Yeah. It was kind of interesting to see data lore. I'm not sure what to call him. His eyes.
Yeah.
And they compensated for him looking older. We're talking about Picard and spoilers, by the way,
Yeah, if you haven't watched it yet, don't listen to what we're saying.
and how Data was old looking, like Q, like Worf, like all of them.
I'm liking the new Worf, the peaceful Worf.
Yeah. I'm a pacifist.
I like
my
Riker's
goodness.
reply. We're gonna fucking die. Oh, sorry.
Well, I mean, come on, Worf ain't never been raging, killing Klingon or nothing.
But he was a warrior, though.
He liked his back left.
All right. After all that, I finally found it.
Uh-huh.
So
Don't let him kid you. He texted Nancy, says, "Send me that picture."
no,
Did you notice, or was it just me?
Like I said, Ashley, my other daughter, took pictures there, and she posted 80-something pictures. So it's like
Jeez.
you have to dig through all these dead burn pictures. So that should come up.
There we go.
Yep, that's Cody and our son and Aislinn.
Cool.
And Nancy on the left.
Yep, that's Nancy. Now this is actually Nancy's son. I mean, I've been with him since he was like 7 or his father passed away. He got killed in a motorcycle accident, but I have been his stepfather since he was like, I want to say 7 years old. So we've been together. Great kid. Wonderful kid. So, but that's Cody and Aislinn. So we had their baby shower this afternoon. I just wanted to share that.
That's cool.
All right, guys.
Thank you.
It's time to get out of here. Thank you all for being on here, and I appreciate it very much. And like I said, don't forget, if anybody wants to donate to Chris Cute, Al's posted a couple of times, but I see several people now posting about his passing. I just saw Shane Cole posted about it, so
Yeah.
I guess they're pretty well opening it up to posting about his death. But yeah, Chris Cute passed away the 23rd, I believe it was, the other day. So just letting everybody know that. Great guy. I think it was Make the First Cut on his YouTube channel.
Yep.
I enjoyed watching him. Came from radio, had a radio voice, radio personality. You could tell it big time. It showed up. So, but thank y'all for being out there.
What was great about him, when you're in a group and he's there, he always made you feel welcome, like you were part of the group. You were just standing there when the group built up, people walked up. He made you feel welcome at all times.
And if you were having problems and he thought he could help you, he jumped in there.
Yep.
When
he did.
That short little time that they canceled my channel or terminated my channel, he was the first one to call me and say, "Hey, let's talk about this, find out what happened." Luckily, I got that squared away. So.
Right.
Good man.
So,
a real original.
All right, guys, we'll be back next week, hopefully. And Chris, that person that you sent to me, I'm sorry I dropped the ball on that. It's just I've had so much things going on. I'll get a hold of him and schedule him. And other than that, that's about it for tonight. listen, if you're too darn busy to get out in your shop and make some sawdust, you're either lazy or you're just too darn busy. So get your butt out there and make some sawdust. That's all you got to do. So just give me sawdust, lots of sawdust all around me and everywhere. I like it flying all around my shop and even in my beard and hair. Good night, everybody.
Little Red's
Thank you for
hair, too.
watching, and God
Little Red's
bless.
here too.
All right.
Live long and prosper, everyone. And
You don't,
what
Chris?
Chris said.
you
Say it
don't
again,
have
Chris.
to go home, but you can't stay here.
Indeed.
But
Indeed.
she can
Nope.
stay.
Tell him, Little
Can't stay
Red.
here. You got to go.
She can stay.
Tell him. Can't stay here. Say that.
No, she can.
Can't stay here. She's even saying it.
She can stay here. Y'all just have to leave.
Yeah, you
Can't
have to step
stay
out,
here.
L. She can stay there.
Say